Felicitations Adventures. Welcome to Roll for Felicity, where today I'm playing Jude's World by Everest Burke of Buttonkin Games. And as you can see, I've got this fun, very what's the word? Oh shoot, maximalist. Wow, I'm starting off strong. This fun maximalist overlay, and you can also see this over here. Whoa, second camera. Can you believe it? I finally figured out how to do a second camera that doesn't lag and I don't have to refresh using my phone. So hopefully this works. Hopefully my phone battery doesn't die. That's actually the main problem because I don't have a plug that is close enough for my cord to reach, so I'm using a I'm using a backup battery. Anyway, all of that out of the way, like I said, I'm playing Jude's World, which is a tarot-based solo TTRPG that's currently funding on Kickstarter. And I think this is the command. Oh, maybe not. Let me see what my commands are. TTRPG commands. Oh, it's Kickstarter is the command. Why did I do that? There we go. And if you back this game, because it hasn't, last I checked, it had not reached its funding goal. There's only like 2 days left. So if you back this game while I'm live, and like tag me in a post with a screenshot being like, oh, I backed this game, you can choose the next time I get a twist or a trap. You can like tell me how you want me to do that, which will affect the game. You can really see how much I talk with my hands over here. You can really see. Or I will give you an amateur tarot reading. Or this is not in the bot because I remembered it today. You might see this little book here. This is my actual journal spanning from my 11th birthday, was when my aunt gave it to me, and I started writing in it the next month, to, when did I stop writing in this? Oh my gosh, I have a list of all my crushes in this book. That's, to 2003. So actually, oh my gosh, that's so weird. I must have done this on purpose. But my first entry in this journal is March 3rd, 2001. And my last journal entry is March 3rd, 2003. Isn't that weird? I must have done that on purpose. Because that's my last journal entry, and I wrote about all my crushes. And that was the very, very end of, like, there's like 2 pages left, and one of them has a autograph from somebody. So, read an entry from that. And the reason you might be going, like, why does it matter that that's the time frame that this journal is written in? Because this game, in this game, you play as a 12-and-a-half-year-old named Jude. You can be any gender, Jude. I'm going to be playing a girl, Jude, because I'm not playing myself exactly at this age, but I am heavily inspired by that. I'm setting the game around that same time, which was 2002 for me. I was 12 to 12 and a half during that time. So it'll be probably like, if I'm doing exactly 12 and a half, it would be like August 2002 is when I was 12 and a half. And Jude's parents are separated and going through a divorce. And in this game, Jude is trying to get their parents back together, but also trying to become an adolescent, you know, grow up, have those milestones that you reach when you're like just about to become a teenager. And this game uses tarot cards to do that. So I've got my tarot deck. I'm using the Pastel Magic Tarot deck, which is very cutesy. It's a very simplistic deck. This is my first ever tarot deck. I only have 2 tarot. I don't know. I'm like, it's my first ever one. I have 2. But I wanted it because it's very cute and girly. Oh my gosh. Trying to figure out where I have to put this for the camera. And very simplistic, so I can easily tell what cards are what. So I've got this deck that I'll be using, and then you also use 2d6, which I'm using these two that I thought were very cutesy. I'm also kind of dressed as I would have been dressed circa 2002. I wore bandanas a lot. And I've always been an overall girly. And then I also, as a bit of, there we go, as a bit of set dressing, I have this pin, which is actually probably from earlier than 2002, but it's from American Girl, I believe. If it's not from American Girl, it's something I got around that time that I had a bunch of pins from American Girl. So like 2008, something like that, that I still have. I have a couple other ones too, but I'm not sure where they are. That's the only one I knew where it was. So that's the basic setup for the game. Like I said, this game is currently crowdfunding, so I really want people to go back it because I think it's a really cool game. And kind of talks about, like, in the beginning, this idea of like parent trapping and how it I like the one of the pieces that Evers wrote is it strikes me as extremely conservative, something I'm very not, to hinge a narrative on the idea that this couple would be better off together. And kind of about how divorce, although it's can be traumatic, it can be something that's not what people are envisioning when they first get married. It is good that it exists. And so dealing with that as a kid, even though it can be tough, can also be a growing moment. Melanie, hello, welcome. You are canonically first. Okay, so, I think I'll just get started. In this section, we'll start about what you need to play as well, doing some scene setting. Okay, so we got a flat surface. You got a comfortable place to sit. I have a digital journal that I'll be keeping track on, which is not visible to you guys because I thought it would be more interesting if you could see the tarot stuff. Also, Melanie, what do you think of this this cool overlay? I've got my coffee. I've got my sparkling water, of course. Um, and I've got my tarot deck, and I've got 2 six-sided dice. 2002, God bless America. Yeah, we're the Patriot Act has been passed. Okay, so in this game, the pentacles signify as money, material wealth, and employment. Cups signify emotions, health, family, and friends. Swords signify intellect, learning, and school. Wands signify creativity, hobbies, leisure. And then the major arcana all stand for their own things. So when you do your kind of start off for this game, you create your Jude, and then you also create Jude's parents, Micah and Jamie. And one thing that I really like is that all of the characters have kind of gender neutral names. So you can play Jude as any gender, you can play Micah and Jamie as any gender. And you actually, the setup has almost as much to do, or probably has more to do, with Jude's parents than it does with Jude. I'm going to say herself because I'll be playing Jude as a girl. Oh, that's so nice! Harvesting mint in your front yard. That's great. Are you going to be making some tea with the mint? That's my favorite thing to do with mint from the yard. So, you can there's kind of a chart that lets you decide some things about Jude, Micah, and Jamie. I think I'm going to be doing, even though it's 2002, you know, marriage equality haven't passed yet. I think I am going to have Micah and Jamie both as women, just because if I'm doing a solo game, somebody's got to be sapphic, you know, and who better than Jude's parents? Especially if I'm kind of playing Jude as myself, because myself at 12, I did not know that I liked girls. So that came along later. And you can use, so there's these two like first name, last name strings of things that you can use to decide who Jude is, who Micah is, who Jamie is. And it suggests that you use your name and then some of your teen icons. Well, now I guess I would say like women, not not necessarily girls. um, so we'll do Taylor Felicity for Jude. So T is an outdoor kid, and F is wants to go to space. So Jude is an outdoor kid who wants to go into space. I did have a space phase as a kid. I wanted to go to space camp, although not I never really like tried to go. I went to horse camp. That's the main themed camp that I went to. Um I need to my desk is kind of all over the place. So let me adjust where my mouse is. And then I would say at 12, my teen or like preteen icons, I did have a huge crush on Aaron Carter. And then also the Olsen twins, I really, really liked. So let's do AC for who Micah is, my one mom. Micah is A is punk, and C who loves to dance. I love that. Mike is a punk who loves to dance. And then Jamie, I did go to horse camp. I think 2 years. I think I went when I was 8 and when I was 9. And then when I was a little bit older, I went to like a farm camp for 2 years. So I think when I was like 11 and 12, I think I went to farm camp. So if we do OT for Olsen twins, then that means Jamie is a foodie, who reads the classics. Where's Mila? Where's Mila when you need them? So, there we go. So we've got Judas, an outdoor kid who wants to go into space. Micah is a punk who loves to dance. Jamie is a foodie who reads the classics. You know what? I can, opposites attract, but I can understand some conflict that would arise between a punk who loves to dance and a foodie who reads the classics. I can understand why that maybe there would be some clashes there. So this is the next part that we do, which is build a life. We can also decide more things about, there's some notes on you could rename the parents. I'm not going to for this. You can also decide what Jude calls her parents. And there's like a whole list of different like names for parents. I'll probably figure that out as I'm going because I want to get to building a life. So we're going to lay out a special 9-card tarot spread to learn about the story, of Jude's family. Draw 9 cards and place them face down in the shape of a house. So this is what it will look like. It might not all be able to be captured by my camera because it is kind of a big spread, but I'm going to try to... I don't know why I'm having such a hard time like going in the wrong direction because this is actually... Like when I go this way, it's going the way that I think it would. So I don't know why I'm like having such a hard time. That way. So there's that, and then we've got the roof of the house. I'm going to put this a little higher than it shows in the spread. I need to stop looking at the camera because for some reason it's really throwing me off, even though it is not mirrored or anything. And then we've got cards here. Got kind of under my keyboard. We've got one there. We've got one here. Oh, they are all fitting. Okay, perfect. They pretty much are all fitting. This one's a little bit out of the zone. Let's do that. Because I want you all to be able to see what I've got going on. Perfect. Okay. It looks a little less house-like than it does in the book. Because I got a little bit of a cramped space that I'm working in. But there we go. Okay. Turn the cards over one by one. Use the cards as prompts to answer the questions for each position. And we will need to pull up tarot card meanings. Actually, you know what? I need to grab my other tarot deck anyway in case I back the game. the risk of over-cluttering everything. Since my Jude... Oh, that's a water ring. Okay. Since my Jude wants to go to space, I do have these cute little crystals that I usually keep with my tarot decks. So you guys won't really be able to see them, I don't think. There we go. I'll stick those there. And then this is my other tarot deck that I got more recently. That Mike got for me, actually. That if people back the game while I'm live and choose to do a tarot reading, I will give them an amateur tarot reading. Which means I think I may have forgotten to disable it, but if anyone redeems bad tarot this term, I'm not doing it. I'll refund the money because you gotta back the Kickstarter. You gotta back the Jude's World Kickstarter to get a tarot reading out of me today. So let's start this off. We've got, starting with the left foundation, which is this card. Other than Jude, what does Jamie care about the most? This card is the Four of Wands. So I'm going to look in my little book. Oh, you don't have to have a window open with tarot stuff. Because a lot of the tarot things take a little while to load and there's lots of ads. Okay, so Four of Wands. Harmony, celebration, peace. Four of Wands is a positive card associated with a happy home and fulfilling relationships. Stability and peace are a strong theme in your life at this time. This card is strongly associated with the home and may indicate that you are looking to move soon. Oh, this is so sad. Okay, so other than Jude, what does Jamie care about the most? So I think since Jude is part of Jamie's like immediate family, what does Jamie about most? So Jamie is our foodie who reads the classics. I think since this is a card associated with family, and what is a big, what's a big source of conflict in a lot of marriages, other than in-laws? So I think Jamie's really close with her parents, siblings, maybe comes from like a big family. Her family, well, I should say like her parents and siblings comes from a big family. Maybe Jamie's like the oldest of, let's say the oldest of, I mean, I have 4 siblings. 5 is a pretty big family, I would say. I was gonna say 4, but let's do 5. Has 4 younger siblings. I certainly know people with bigger families than that, but I think that's pretty good. Then we've got right foundation, which I'm assuming is going to be about Micah, which is the 8 of Wands. Other than Jude, what does Micah care about the most? Makes sense. It's cute that they're both wands. 8 of Wands. Unimpeded action, haste, and energy. According to the 8 of Wands, you are feeling full of positive and focused energy, which will propel you through a busy time. Your productivity will soar. Make sure that you've completed one thing before starting another, that you have a view of the entire situation before making decisions. Don't wait around for more doors to open for you. There are many to choose from already. So I think because Wands are the kind of like creative, artistic suit for Jude's World, I think that Micah is a musician. We've got a punk, maybe like a punk musician. A tough thing to be, I feel. Well, I guess 2002 was like pop punk. I was gonna say hard to be a punk in the 2000s, but there was a good amount of pop punk that was coming into fashion. I needed a coffee. So I think it's her band. We'll need a band name. I'll have to think of that at some point. And the reason why I think it's the like kind of goes along with this tarot reading is I feel like being like unimpeded action, haste, and energy is like she's putting a lot of energy and maybe to the neglect of other people in her life into this band, which if you're a musician and you're trying to make it big, any kind of creative, and you're trying to like make it your career, that does happen. her band. She spends most of her time and energy on. I'll just say that. We'll need to come up with a band name. Left wall. How did Jude's parents meet? So that's this card, which we've got the Three of Swords. I'm not going to bother with upright and reverse since the orientation of this card, so it's kind of hard to determine what's upright and what's reversed anyway. So we got the Three of Swords. Which swords are further in the book? Sorrow, heartbreak, and betrayal is how they met. Three of Swords represents heartbreak and sorrow. You may feel betrayed because you were not expecting a particular outcome of a situation. Understand that although you are going through a painful time right now, you will be better for it once you've had a chance to heal. Let yourself feel your sadness, then accept that loss is a part of life. Oh, man. Okay. I feel like it has to be one of them, like one of them broke up, or... Okay. I think what it is, they were both dating the same person who was cheating on both of them. So, like, neither of them knew that the other person existed, you know? So, and then they connected, that's how they met each other, and then they ended up dating. They were both dating the same person who was cheating on them. Drama. So far, I'm understanding how this could be a relationship that ends in divorce. There's a lot of conflict here already. Right wall, what drew them together romantically? These are such good, these questions are proceeding in such a good way. We got our first major arcana in Building a Life, which is the World. Let's flip back to the beginning of the book. The World. What, 21? Right? Am I reading my Roman numerals correctly? Yeah, 21. Completion, new beginning, and fulfillment. Okay. That works for a couple that met from a other relationship. The World card is a sign that the end of something big is in sight. You've achieved what you've been working towards and you feel accomplished. Though you face adversity to get where you are, you've come out as the victor and your hard work and dedication will be recognized. Enjoy the fruits of your labor, be it a promotion, a marriage, the birth of a child, or graduation. Your contentment is well deserved. I don't think this is adding, too much. Because I think what drew them together romantically is maybe they connected, they kind of were relying on each other to get over the heartbreak of both being cheated on. And instead of, villainizing each other, really leaned on each other, and that drew them together romantically. And relied on and commiserated with. The nice thing about me not showing my little journal on stream is that you can't see when I misspell things. Relied on and commiserated with each other after they found out about being cheated on. Okay, the next, I think this is the final card. So we've got 5. We've got left roof. What obstacle did they overcome early in their relationship? The Devil. Another major arcana. That is 15? Right? Thanks. 15, the Devil. Giving into desire, addiction, and materialism. Suggests you feel like you are stuck or shackled by your current situation. You're not, but also indicates you're not as bound by the circumstances as you think. You feel as if you are out of control and influenced by external forces. I mean, addiction is one of the themes for the Devil. So I think that could be something that they dealt with early on. And yeah, I think especially being Mike as a musician, that's a thing with musicians and creatives, like a lot of times is, you know, you can, if you're performing all the time, you might rely on uppers. If you're trying to get like some creative juice, you might rely on, you know, psychedelics. So very common. So let's say, what obstacle did they overcome? Micah's addiction. So I think Micah's probably sober now, since they overcame this obstacle. She is now sober. I feel like that also fits with like a punk aesthetic. There's a lot of like straight edge and sober punks. 6. What did they sacrifice to have a child together? And this is justice. A lot of major arcana coming through. So that is earlier. Truth, justice, impartiality. Drawing the justice card indicates that fairness is paramount. Any actions or decisions you make now should be honest and come from honorable intentions. What? Okay, what obstacle? Or what do they sacrifice to have a child together, with justice being the card? Huh. What did they give up to have a child together? I mean, there's so many things that you give up when you have children, like obviously like financial stuff, a lot of times career stuff. I'm tempted to just have justice be pretty like on the nose and say we already know that Micah is a musician and that she's like currently still a musician, that's still like her job. So part of me thinks maybe it could be Jamie. Like Jamie gave up her job or like a potential job, like either with justice. I'm thinking like, okay, like could have been like in law school maybe. I think that's kind of good. I kind of like the idea that Jamie isn't necessarily like a stay-at-home mom, but that when they decided to have a kid, she had to drop out of law school and ended up not becoming like not going back to it. So what did they sacrifice to have a child together? I also, that's kind of making me think that maybe Jamie was the like if she dropped out of law school specifically for the child thing, that maybe she was the what is it? I was gonna say surrogate mother, but it's not a surrogate mother. So she carried Jude. That's what I'm trying to say. What did they sacrifice to have a child together? Jamie dropped out of law school when she was pregnant. Never ended up going back. Okay. Chimney. So now we get to Jude. That was all pre-Jude. But the chimney, what strange quirk did Jude exhibit as a baby? We've got the 5 of Wands. Doot, doot. So let's look at that. Da, da, da. 5 of Wands. Struggle, disagreement, challenge. You're feeling challenged and in competition when the 5 of Wands appeared. Disagreement can be constructive. It's received well. Okay, so we've got struggle, disagreement, challenge. And this is, what strange quirk did Jude exhibit as a baby? This is one of the more creative cards. And my first thought is, like, that's not really a strange quirk. My first thought is, like, colic. That's, like, a huge struggle for a baby. That's not really a strange quirk. That's, like, pretty common. Something that's a struggle. Something related to struggle, disagreement, or challenge. Challenge could be, I mean, a lot of things you do as a baby are a challenge or a struggle. So I'm almost thinking like she like there's almost a part of me that's like I don't even know if this is like really even possible for a baby. But like something like she didn't really have like a crawling stage, that she almost went straight from like she did have a crawling stage, but she very quickly went from like being able to roll over to being able to walk. That's like a strange quirk, right? Does that make sense though? As a baby's development? um like she didn't it seems like Jude didn't really like crawling, and so like didn't do it for very long and started walking right away. But if you start walking really quickly, then you're like falling a lot. So I kind of like that. I don't know if it entirely makes sense for a baby to do, but let's do that. What strange quirk did Jude exhibit as a baby? Sometimes this is always my struggle when I play solo games, is I'm like, am I creative at all? Do I have any do I have any smart good ideas? Um Almost skipped crawling because she seemed to hate it. Went straight to walking. I'll say almost. Almost went straight to walking. Only 2 more cards left in building a life. Next we have this window. What is Jude's happiest family memory? We have the moon, which is one of my favorite tarot cards. I love the moon. And so fitting, because Jude wants to go to space. That's so cute. Okay, I feel like this has to be something related to space. I mean, okay, let me see. What is that? 15, 16, is that 18, right? The moon. So the themes for the moon are insecurity, deception, uncertainty. Okay. Here's what I think it is. I think, oh, this is so sad. Is this a family memory? Yeah, okay. I think that right before the separation, Jude, Jamie, and Micah went to. This also was something that I did when I was younger than 12, but went to Washington, D.C., went to the Air and Space Museum together. Other museums too, but the one that Jude really, really wanted to go to was the Air and Space Museum. Maybe I'll make this the same thing that I did, which is when I went to the Air and Space Museum, it was because I just realized now with this camera is really betraying a lot of my quirks that you can't normally see when I'm streaming, which is that a lot of times I'm picking things up and just like fiddling with them. So you're really getting a front row view to me being like, oh, pick up dice, pick up whatever, which is why I always have this thing on my desk, because if I don't use this, then I will use something else. But I went to the Air and Space Museum. It was probably like I was like 7 or 8 maybe. Because they'd had an exhibit that was a Star Wars exhibit. And so they had a bunch of costumes, some of the like props and puppets and stuff like that as like a special exhibit at the Air and Space Museum. So let's say Jude likes Star Wars. That's that's a normal thing for a kid who wants to go to space. So they went to this exhibit. Jude wanted to go to the Air and Space Museum anyway, but went there for the Star Wars exhibit. And the thing that I think ties it in with the themes of the moon, of insecurity, deception, and uncertainty, I think deception. I think Jude's parents knew at that point that they were going to separate soon. And so this was kind of an intentionally crafted, like, we're going to do this. We're going to have a happy time. I think Jude, like, didn't even know that that's what was happening at the time. Like, I don't think it was like, I think it was genuinely a happy memory. I don't think Micah and Jamie were fighting a lot or anything like that. I think it was a great trip. And then, like, maybe a month later, they sat Jude down and were like, hey, we're getting separated. Um, I think that really fits for the moon. So, what is Jude's happiest family memory? Going to the Air and Space Museum. And like other stuff in DC is like fun, you know, but that's probably the main thing that she was excited for. Going to the Air and Space Museum for a Star Wars exhibit. A month later, Micah and Jamie sat Jude down and explained they were separating. So that was pretty recent, I think. Because I think I'm going to kind of like for this playthrough imagine that Micah and Jamie aren't actually divorced yet because divorce takes so well. That's the other thing. I guess they're not technically married because it's 2002. Whatever. Let's pretend this is an alternate version of 2002 where gay people could get married. That doesn't even matter. Actually, divorcing takes a long time, but separating your lives when you're, you know, considering yourself to be married, even if you're not legally married, is also a complicated thing. So they're separated. And then the door, which is our final card. What does Jude know about why her parents broke up? And we have the Empress, which I don't know very much about this card. 3. The Empress. Beauty, fertility, abundance, and femininity. What an interesting card to pull for this. The Empress represents femininity and abundance coming to you soon. Dreamy! Hello! Yes, this game is super fun. This game is super fun. This is one of the in chat it says Dreamy makes all my overlays. This is one of the few overlays that Dreamy didn't make for me because I didn't really know what I wanted, so I was just fiddling around. But this game is very fun. We're just about done with the setup for the game, I think. But we are also one thing with this camera setup is that it has like such a shallow range of focus. It seems like the cards are like not really in focus. I don't really know how to fix that. Okay, so the reason why Jude's parents broke up is related to the card the Empress. The Empress represents femininity and abundance coming to you soon. She indicates that people may come to you for nurturing or that you may have upcoming success in your new ideas, projects, personal developments. In a more literal interpretation of the fertility that this card represents, you may find that it is a favorable time for seeding new life or taking on a nurturing role in your life. Growth and development are strong themes of this card. Take time to follow your inner voice and nurture yourself in your relationships. Joy and abundance will follow. I can understand that being a reason for divorce or separation. Because one or both partners are like, we have like our own growing to do, like we have our own things that we want to nurture. So maybe that's how they explained it to Jude. Like they were like, hey, we still love each other very much, but we're really different people. We have our own goals. We have our own things that we want. And that also would make sense why Jude would be so focused on bringing them back together. If it's just like Micah being like, my band is really taking off and I like am not spending as much time with, you know, your mom as I should, that kind of thing. So what does Jude know about why their parents broke up? And maybe like, and And Jamie, like, maybe wants to go back to law school. Jude's 12 now, so, like, that, I think that's an age, if you're not planning on having more kids, that's an age where, of course, you still have responsibility for your child, but you can start looking more into, like, okay, uh, this person's in school, they're gonna be, like, a teenager soon, it's not too long before they're gonna be able to drive themselves, so, like, if Jamie wants to be a lawyer, being like, okay, I'm going to try to go back to law school, or Micah being like, okay, I can go on tour with my band, because we have a child who still needs to be, like, nurtured and taken care of, but is a lot more, self-sufficient. Both Micah and Jamie still love. So the thing also that's interesting about this card is there are points in this game where Jude can learn more about her parents and, like, more about why they actually broke up. So what Jude knows about why they're breaking up is not necessarily the entire truth, or also, like, if you're getting a divorce, you don't want to tell your kids, like, hey, we're not sexually compatible or whatever. There's, like, stuff that you don't want to tell your kid, or, like, oh, one of us cheated, or all these different things. Love each other, but have their own goals and dreams that they want to pursue. I think that's what Jude knows. So, once you've completed your reading, sweep the cards away and shuffle them back into the deck. Jude's perfect family is gone. We'll spend the rest of the game working to rebuild the spread, using what we've learned as inspiration for the story we're going to tell. Thank you! I went for a kind of 2002 look, with the caveat that I'm dressing kind of how I dressed in 2002, which is I wore a lot of bandanas. And not, like, not like celebrity, the edge of fashion 2002. Also based on what I actually had, because I wanted to do blue eyeshadow, but I don't own any blue eyeshadow. So I had to go with kind of a bluey gray. The other thing that while I'm shuffling this, I'll say this. I was thinking a lot about myself at this age. The thing that's weird about growing older is I'm like, what exactly was I doing at age 12? I don't remember. I remember, like, vaguely stuff that happened in my life. I was in choir. My family had moved kind of recently. We were building a house. I was living in a 2-room cabin with my parents, my grandpa, and my 4 siblings. I remember that. Thank you. I don't really wear bandanas that often now because they slip off my head. But I do actually like it. I've got it kind of positioned in a cute way right now, although I can tell it is still slipping back, because it was probably more like here, but I remembered when I was maybe a little bit older, when I was like 13, 14, for my makeup, the way I started doing makeup is one day, I like never wore makeup, I was never very girly, I didn't wear very girly clothes, I had really short hair, people thought I was a boy all the time. And then when I was like 14, I was like, I need to start wearing makeup. And so I went and borrowed my mom's makeup and just, like, tried to do it. And I didn't have, like, tutorials or anything. I just, like, did my makeup. And then I think my mom was, like, at work or something, or she wasn't home. And she came home and she was like, oh, that looks really cute. Like, she wasn't mad or anything about it. She was like, that looks really good. I can't believe you did that yourself. So I always did my makeup that same exact way, because my mom was like, that looks good. Which is mostly I wore eyeshadow. I usually wore, like, brown eyeshadow, and then my mom had pencil eyeliner that you would, like, literally sharpen with a little pencil sharpener thing, and she would use a lighter and, like, warm it up and get it kind of goopy, and then put that on as eyeliner. And so I wore brown eyeliner only under. I only did eyeliner on the bottom. Yeah, I think, like, I wear brown pencil eyeliner now. I think brown eyeliner looks cute. I wear liquid eyeliner, because pencil eyeliner does not stay on my face. I'm not shuffling these very well at all. But I wore it only on the bottom. And because I did the lighter thing Which I don't know if that's like what you're supposed to do, because it's kind of too hard. Like, nothing comes off if you don't do the lighter thing. But it would be very, like, goopy and chunky. It would, like, dry chunky under my eye. But I would not put eyeliner on my top, like, on my top lid. Which now, I mostly only do eyeliner on the top. I don't usually do under. Although I am today. I did brown. I actually did a brown eyebrow pencil because I don't have brown eyeliner under my eye. That's my secret. This is, I was gonna wear mascara and I forgot to. Oh well. Okay. Oh shoot. I need to pull out the Fool, the Magician, and the High Priestess. Da, da, da. Let me do that. The Fool, the Magician, the High Priestess. There's the Fool. I love the Fool card in this deck. It's really cute. The Magician. Oh, there's the High Priestess. And where's the Magician? There's the Magician. This is not the new deck I got. This is the deck I've had. The new deck I got, though, I also have here. Because, oh yeah, I should say, if people back this game while I'm live, there are some things that I will do. You can tell me what to do, like, in the game for when there's a twist or a trap, which I'll explain when we get to that. Or I will do a tarot reading for you, or I will read an entry from my 2002 journal, which I have here. But this is the new tarot card deck that I have, which is the Arcanus Animal Tarot, which is very cute. I actually really like this deck too. It's also pretty simplistic. This one has more, it's more custom. So like the swords and cups, like the minor arcana, have their own illustrations, whereas in this deck they just look like like a regular playing card deck for the most part. So that's what I have for tarot readings if people back the Kickstarter. Okay. I've got my 3 cards. The Fool, the Magician, the High Priestess. Put these aside in a face-up pile. These form the beginning of your Twists card stack. Twists in this game are things like they're kind of like milestones for like a preteen. Now shuffle your remaining deck, which I already shuffled pretty well. And draw cards until you have 3 numbered minor arcana cards. Cards with a suit that aren't pages, knights, king, or queen. Okay, so that one is a numbered minor arcana. That one is not. That one is. And that one is. Okay, cool. These 3 are the beginning of your keepsakes card stack. Look up your keepsakes cards in the reference table in the final section of the book. Make a note of what each card is and what it represents and put them aside in a face-up pile. So we have our... You know what? Let's just remember this. We'll put a little moon over here. Those are twists. These are our keepsakes. I might have to move these out of frame because I will be rebuilding a spread here, but for now we'll put them there. Put any other cards you drew back in the deck. Thoroughly reshuffle. Put this largest stack in a face-down pile. That's your draw deck. Once you've got an idea of who Jude, Micah, and Jamie are and have learned some of their history by completing your Build a Life spread, it's time to find out what happens next. In this section, we'll talk about the aims of the game and how you'll measure progress. Okay, I'm not going to read through all of this, but Jude has 2 objectives. To reunite Micah and Jamie, and that's the first objective, reunite Micah and Jamie. Second objective, to mature into a happy, well-rounded teenager. The aim of the game is to achieve both of these things by the time you complete your Rebuild a Life spread. So, there are parts. Let me do that as a heading. Parts. Heading 2. Hurts. Which hearts and hurts are basically like if you end the game and you have, I think it's 5 hearts, then Jamie and Micah get back together. If you don't, and they have more hurts than hearts, then like it's maybe their relationship is pretty rocky. If they have more hearts than hurts, is that what I said last time? If they have more hurts than hearts, it's pretty rocky. If they have more hearts than hurts, it's like maybe more amicable. Then we are also trying to basically rebuild that spread that we just took out. So rebuild the house again with a new life for Jude now that either with her parents back together or with them now that they're apart. Every time you pick a twist or successfully spring a trap, you can add a major arcana card to this new spread. Then there's also so we've got hearts that we're keeping track of, and then we also have teen. Hearts. I should just read. I said I was going to skip over this, but I am pretty much reading this. Hearts and hurts represent the love Micah and Jamie have shared and the hurts that they've caused each other. Micah and Jamie start the game with 1 heart out of a possible 5 and 2 hurts out of a possible 3. When 3 hurts are marked, Micah and Jamie have a big fight and lose 2 hearts. And then teen is a measure on a scale from 0 to 5 represents Jude's maturity level, their progress from child to teenager. Jude starts out with a teen score of 0. Jude is a child. So, I'm just going to start playing, and then I might have to jump back and remind myself of things. But, the play steps are, first you draw 3 cards and pick 1 to keep. Put 2 back in a random spot in your draw deck. Oh, I need to figure out what these keepsakes are. So hang on, let me go down to the end. Because we have 3 keepsakes. We've got the 8 of Pentacles, which is a crystal ornament. All right, let's see. Let's do a heading for this too. You can't see this, but I think my mic is pointed too much at my keyboard, so apologies if you can really hear that. Although, it's the sounds of typing. Not the worst sound in the world. 8 of Pentacles. A crystal ornament. What creature or object is it? What is the shape's significance? So these are keepsakes that have to do with, I think if I remember correctly, have to do with Micah and Jamie. So what creature or object is, I guess I was thinking creatures, but it could also be an object. Maybe it's a rose. I don't know. Is that too boring? A crystal ornament. A crystal rose that Micah gave Jamie for their first Valentine's Day. That's cute. And let's unbold that. Okay. Then we've got the Ace of Swords. Swords up or down from where I am? Down. Okay. Oh, Ace of Swords is your birth certificate. Holy cow. Okay. Ace of Swords. Your birth certificate. What surprising detail does Jude find recorded there? What would be a surprising detail on a birth certificate? Huh. I don't know what a surprising detail on a birth certificate would be. Is this too sad? Is it too sad? I'm trying to decide whether, like, how I want to handle it being 2002 and the parents being lesbians, because, like, realistically, maybe Micah's name wouldn't be on the birth certificate. So maybe that. And like Jude is kind of young to understand why exactly that would be the case. Or maybe old enough to understand why that would be the case and be like really upset about it. Okay, so we've got that, and then Eight of Wands. Eight of Wands is a friendship bracelet. And the thing we answer is, why was this taken off? How can you tell? Okay. I need to check and see if these are, I think these are supposed to be keepsakes of the parents. I think. It doesn't specifically say that, I think. When you choose a numbered minor arcana card, Jude has found a new keepsake. Look up your card in the keepsakes reference table near the end of the book. Then write down in your workbook what you found. Fill in the extra detail requested in the card entry. Then place the card face up on your keepsake stack. The little description, like the example, is after Micah left with the last of her things, I climbed up in the attic to be alone for a bit. I don't know why I thought of it. I haven't been up there since I was really little and used to play knights and castles. Anyway, while I was climbing around, I found boxes full of all kinds of nonsense. Like, seriously, there's a pizza menu for the place we used to order from, and I know they shut down years ago. Micah's old favorite sweater with a hole in it, a Christmas card I made in nursery school, and then it came to me. Oh, and then it came to me. These are clues. Okay. So maybe it doesn't have to be specifically the parents. Maybe it can be related to Jude. So let's look at this. This is what was this? Eight of Wands? I think I scrolled past it. A friendship bracelet. Why was this taken off? How can you tell? So that makes me think it's not Jude's, because how she could tell is that she took it off. Okay, let's just at least write what we have. Eight of Wands. A friendship bracelet. And why was it taken off? How can you tell? Why was this taken off? I think it's broken. I think you can tell that, because I'm imagining those friendship bracelets that like are basically, I guess they're not usually woven together. They're usually tied. The knot is still there, and like I think maybe the embroidery floss or whatever, the loose kind of floss that you used to make the knot, is just like worn through. Taken off because it broke, essentially. Until from the floss and the knot. Like, you'd be able to tell if it was cut or if it was untied, but the knot is still there. So, yeah, let's do that. So we have our keepsakes. Okay. So now we can draw 3 cards, pick 1 to keep, put 2 back in a random spot in your draw deck. How to choose, take a look at the card categories section. So we've got 1, 2, 3 cards. We have, oh, one of these is a major arcana. Oh, 2 of these are major arcana. Holy cow. Okay. We've got swords. We've got the lovers. We've got the emperor. So major arcana. Document your draw. Okay. Numbered minor arcana are keepsakes. So that would be the swords card. Face minor arcana are accomplices and foils. We don't have any of those. Major arcana. If you draw major arcana, a card without a suit representing a big concept, you found a twist. Twists are potential events in Jude's life which you can either add to your story or sacrifice to spring a trap on your parents. So documenting draws. When you choose a numbered minor arcana card, Jude has found a keepsake. You can do accomplices. You can do twists. Okay. I think I'm going to do a major arcana. If you draw a major arcana card, add it face up to your twists stack. The twists reference section at the end of this book will tell you what life event this card promises if you choose to play it. So you can choose not to play these twists. You can choose to instead use them to spring a trap. So let's, I feel like we got to do the lovers. I don't know what the Emperor is, but the Lovers is pretty good for this. Um, so picking a twist means choosing to add a milestone. So these I'll put back in the deck because I'm not using them. Picking a twist means choosing to add a milestone life event to Jude's story, advancing them towards their goal of becoming a teenager. To pick a twist, take a major arcana card of your choice from the twist stack. Or so if you do that, you say what life event it represents, place this card face up in the next week, and spawn your rebuild a life spread, and add 1 point to Jude's teen stat. To spring a trap, traps are encounters between Micah and Jamie that Jude organizes in an attempt to bring them back together. It's up to you how exactly Jude makes each trap happen. It's crazy that we got a major arcana card immediately. Like, this is our first journal entry, basically. It's up to you exactly how Jude makes each trap happen, though you can assume they'll use all the manipulation, orchestration, and wheedling skills they have at their disposal, plus everything they've learned about their parents' love story through the discovery of keepsakes. So keepsakes are about the parents. They're not really about Jude. Well, I guess some of them involve Jude, because she's, like, in the family. To spring a trap, you need 3 keepsakes cards, which we do have, which you'll sacrifice and send to the discard pile, plus 1 major arcana from your twist stack, which we have 4 of now. The keepsakes you choose are prompts for the content of your trap. Maybe Jude sells a fancy ornament keepsake to get the money for a meal in a nice restaurant. Maybe a keepsake of some old concert tickets inspired them to have a specific type of music playing when Mike and Jamie next meet. To find out how your trap went, roll 2d6 and take note of the result. And then if you have accomplices and foils, you can do that. And then based on how you roll, that determines how the trap goes. It can either be bad, it can be a mixed success, a full success, or an outstanding success. I think, let's look at what our options are for life events. So we've got the Lovers, the Magician, the High Priestess, and the Fool. So let's see what of these we can do. Because I think when you pull a major arcana, you can choose to, at that point, do either a twist or a trap. Okay. Oh, these are so good. Okay, so I think we're going to do probably a twist. I feel like it's like kind of too, like I haven't established enough in my mind about what's going on to do a trap. We'll see. I don't know. The Fool, the twist is run away from home for a night. The High Priestess, find a new BFF for real. That is a good one to start with. The Magician, which is visit the new home of the parent who moved out. That's a good one to start with as well. Or the Lovers, get your first crush. These are all so good. Oops, I just hit my desk. These are all so good. Oh, I don't want to use any of these to get my parents back together. I don't think I'm going to do the Fool. I really like that one, but I think this is basically starting off our story. Find a new BFF is also very fun. I feel like the 2 that I most want to do would be the Magician, which is visiting your new parents' house. Right? Or not new parents' house. Visiting your parents' new house. Yeah, visit the new home of the parent who moved out. Or get your first crush. Now I'm like, well, I kind of do like the run away from home one. Okay, we know Jude is an outdoor kid. Let's do run away from home. That was the one that I was least interested in, but I actually think that's a good start. So we're rebuilding. And this is a journaling game. I think I'm trying to decide. Sometimes for journaling games, since I'm talking and like explaining everything, sometimes I'm like, do I want to like write everything out? So I think I'm just gonna verbally kind of, well, we'll see. Maybe I'll change my mind. I never really decide on anything. So Jude runs away from home for the night. I think this is pretty immediately after her parents announce that they're splitting up. Not announce, I guess, but tell her that they're splitting up. And I think by running away from home, I think she has. I have to decide some things. I have to decide where Jude lives. If it's kind of like where I lived in a pretty rural area at this point in my life. So there were lots of places I could kind of just run off to and have like a fort or something. Um, does that fit with that doesn't exactly fit with Jude's parents though? Like uh so here's what I think it is. Jude runs away from home for the night. I think I I'm trying to decide if there's something her parents would be like freaked out about or if it's just like she goes in the backyard and sleeps in a tent. I think it's pretty funny if she goes in that like that's something I would do. I'd be like, I'm running away from home, and then I would like just pitch a tent in the backyard. I think that's kind of funny. So, and maybe it's like Jude's like, I'm doing the. I also very frequently threatened to run away from home when I was a kid. And I would like put all my stuff in like a laundry basket and be like, I'm leaving. Um, but I think maybe I went to the backyard. I don't think I ever really got very far. So yeah, I think it's basically Jude is really upset, starts packing up her stuff, and starts writing about it in her journal. And I think like is packing all of her stuff up, but then her parents told her in like the afternoon she was taking a while to try to figure out like what can I fit in my backpack. Okay, now I need this. So, like I need to pack my backpack and my duffel bag and my rolly suitcase to take everything that I want because like of course I have to take my I have to take my astronomy book. I have to take my journal. I have to take my old journals from when I was younger because I don't want to lose those. I have to take my Beanie Babies. I can't take all of them, but I have to at least take some of them. So picking her favorite Beanie Babies, and then of course she has to carry the tent bag because that's not going to fit in any of her other bags. So by the time she gets and like also has to like pack some sandwiches, all that kind of stuff, and then by the time she gets all that together, she's like, obviously I'm leaving, but it's like, 7 p.m. So she's like, well, I can't really get very far. So to make a point, I'm going to set up the tent in the backyard and run away and sleep out there. I had a pink plastic Barbie suitcase that I'd pack up, stand at the front door and be like, goodbye, mother, and then start to walk down our driveway. I did something similar. I had one of those collapsible laundry baskets, and I like went out we didn't have a long driveway and lived right on a busy road when I would do this. So I was a little bit younger. But I would pack it all up and then like go out onto the porch and be like, I'm leaving now. Actually, one time when I was a kid, before my sister Janie was born, when my mom was still pregnant, I really, really, really wanted a girl because I already had two brothers. So I really, really wanted a sister. And I was like, if this is another boy, I'm leaving. And I was like, I'm actually going to leave. I'm going to leave the house. They're just going to be the boys here. I'm going to run away. And so I packed like months in advance of like the baby being born. I packed a backpack full of like my favorite things, like my favorite Beanie Baby, my favorite books, my favorite clothes, all of that stuff. And I just stuffed it in a backpack. Um, but then the baby wasn't a boy, and also I put the backpack under my bed, so I like forgot about it. And so I was like, where is my I think it was one of the cat Beanie Babies. I was like, where is oh, what was the cat called? I don't remember. I remember exactly what it looked like. It was like Flick or Flip or something like that. I was like, where is this cat? Where's my favorite books? I would read books all the time. And then I found, like, literally months later, found the backpack under my bed and was like, this is where literally all my favorite stuff is. So that was my big running away moment. I think I either would get bored or insist that my mom beg me to stay. That's what you want, right? Like, that's what I always wanted. I wanted someone to be like, no, please, please don't run away. Which I don't remember my mom ever doing. I don't think my mom would beg me to stay. I think she would kind of humor me and be like, all right, where are you going? Like, that kind of stuff. But yeah, well, all I really wanted was for someone to be like, please, please stay. Yeah, chase me down the driveway, cry, all of that stuff. Because I was like, I knew I couldn't, like, I can't actually run away. So I think, yeah, that's Jude's running away, which is using the fool. And I think I build a life in the same, let's see. Pick a twist, spring a trap, pass, skip the step. Okay, so we are doing this. We are doing the twist. And I think it goes in the same order that we did. Choosing at a milestone life event to Jude's story, advancing them towards their goal of becoming a teenager. To pick a twist, take a major arcana card of your choice from your twist stack, which we did. The twists reference section, we did that. Place this card face up in the next vacant spot in your rebuild life spread. So I think it's the same order. So I think it would be here. That's the first one. Is the foundation on one side. And then my teen goes from 0 to 1. And I think that why this is a maturing moment is I wake up the next morning. It's like the sun is just coming up. Of course, I was sleeping in the backyard, so there's like, you know, it's August. It's too hot to be doing this. But it's also simultaneously kind of too cold somehow because you're camping and it's like damp. Like the dew just goes like straight through the tent, like straight up out of the ground. Because of course, Jude doesn't put a tarp down. And the sun is coming up and I like get out my journal and start kind of writing. And I'm like, I don't want to go back in the house because I haven't made my point. And that's not my home now anyway. My home was a house where I lived with both of my parents and now they're getting divorced. But I also don't know where I'll go. And I think eventually I just get hungry and I go back in the house for breakfast. It's summer, so I don't have school. I go back in the house for breakfast and Jude sees that Micah and Jamie are still making breakfast together for Jude. And I think that's when she's like, they still love each other. Like, I can make this not happen. Like, they still love each other. We can all still be a happy family. Like, you know, they're talking about splitting up. They're talking about moving out. But I think I can trick them into staying together. So that's where I get the idea of doing this. Okay, so then I draw. The next thing is I just start over. Start the turn over. So draw 3 more cards. We've got, okay, no major arcana. We've got swords, wands, and pentacles. These are all keepsakes, I believe. So let's just blindly, what keepsakes do I have? I have one of each of these, I think. Swords, wands, pentacles. So let's do swords. I don't know what keepsake this is. Six of Swords is a book with a note written on the inside cover. What is the book and what does the note say? Okay, that's good. I really like that. So we'll put these back in the deck randomly. And put this in our keepsakes. Take a note of it. 6 of Swords. A book with a note written on the inside cover. What is the book and what does the note say? Okay, I kind of like the idea that this is a book. I think this is a book from... I think this is a book from Jamie's mom to her. And I think the book is like what to expect when you're expecting, like that kind of thing. And I think the note inside is from Jamie's mom, because Jamie's really close to her family. Her family's really important to her. That's like, a note about like, for the, uh-oh, is my phone battery gonna die? Keep charging. Oh my gosh, I have 10% battery life left. Something bad may happen. Okay. So the book is let's see. Book is a baby book with a note from Jamie's mom that says uh maybe like well, we know that Jamie's the oldest. So maybe it's like the book that Jamie's mom bought for herself when she was pregnant with Jamie. So maybe it's something like from my first baby. Or no, not from my. For my first baby. Um, to. That doesn't make sense. For my first baby. To your first baby, something like that. That doesn't exactly make sense, but whatever. So Jude, I think, finds this. Maybe they're starting to do like packing and stuff like that for. Is Jamie moving out? It feels like Jamie would not be the one moving out. It feels like Micah would be the one moving out. So maybe they're packing, they're splitting up books, splitting up different things like that. And Jude is like helping, but is really like trying to hinder the packing process. So keeps like finding things that are like, like that she thinks are books that they'll fight over, or like objects that they will be like, well, not even fight over, but that they won't want to like split up, or that they'll have a hard time with. And so being like, oh, but who's going to take this and who's going to take this? And they're packing up. I think they switched to packing up books because that's not super contentious. I think most of the books are Jamie's books, and the books that are Micah's books are like music related. So it's really easy to divvy these up. And Jude finds this book that's like a baby book, and flips it open and sees this writing, and I think it makes her like sad, melancholy kind of. I don't think she knows like the feeling that she has opening it and seeing this, because it's like from before she was born, and from her like grandmother to her mom, and then thinking about her mom as a kid. Like it's kind of like when you think about your parents as kids, it does almost make you sad. So I think that's what the book is, and she writes about it and um is like, dear diary. I always named my diary, so probably Jude would too. I don't know what she would name it. I think this one was named I think this one was named like Bloss. No, is that right? What was this one named? Spring. The star was named Spring. But I had one that was named Uni for unicorn. I think I had another one that was named Chloe, maybe, because I liked that name. So Jude probably would name her diary. I don't know what she would name it, but writes in it, and is like, I found this book. I'm keeping it because it's kind of about me. Like that's how she justifies that she keeps it. So we have another keepsake. And then we'll draw 3 more cards. So if I was playing this like not on stream, I would be writing out these journal entries. I think because I'm playing it on stream, I'm not gonna like write them out because I'm kind of talking through it. Okay. Ooh, we do have our first face card, which is an accomplice. So I think I'll pick that because we haven't gotten an accomplice yet. And then after we do this, I'll probably take a little break for a second, partially so I can charge my phone up a little bit. Oops. But let's see. What's the King of Swords? is up a little bit. So this could be a accomplice or a foil. So this could be someone who's helping us get our parents back together, or someone who's hindering us. King of Swords. Knight of Swords. King of Swords. An authoritative, determined adult. I can't remember how I decide whether they're accomplices or foils. Maybe I roll something. Let me scroll up to that. When you choose a face minor arcana card, you've gained an accomplice or a foil. Look up the cards. You'll find a prompt to create your new character. To determine if this person is an accomplice or foil, roll 1 of your 6-sided dice. On a 1 to 3, this character will be a foil who will try to prevent Mike and Jamie from getting back together. On a 4 to 6, this character will be an accomplice who will aid Jude in their efforts. Write down in your workbook who you found and fill in a starting motivation. Why is this person for or against Jamie and Mike getting back together? So let's do it. A 1. So this is a foil. Yes, this is a foil. I think I know who this is. This is an authoritative adult, right? King of Swords. An authoritative, determined adult. I think this is someone in Jamie's family. I'm trying to decide if this is Jamie's... At first I was thinking Jamie's dad, because we know we've met Jamie's mom a little bit. A part of me, though, because this one specifically has the gay pride flag, like this card does. Maybe it's Jamie's brother, who's also gay. I kind of like that. So it would be Jude's uncle. So let's do another heading for foils. Let's see. Jude's uncle. What's a name? What's an uncle-y name? What's a 2002 uncle name? We could do more. I mean, Jude is a Beatles song. We could do something from another Beatles song. We could do. Her uncle is named Mean Mr. Mustard. I mean, it could just be John. Uncle John. That sounds good. Uncle John. Jamie's brother. Not older brother. We know Jamie's the oldest. Maybe a year younger. Who, maybe doesn't like Micah. Or do I want it to be that straightforward? I don't think I want it to be doesn't like Micah. I think it's maybe like doesn't like how Micah treats Jamie. I think that's a good foil. So how do we document a foil? Write down your workbook who you found and fill in starting motivation. Why is this person for or against Micah and Jamie getting back together? Place the card you drew face down on your accomplices and foils stack. Okay. So I don't think I need to do this as a journal entry. I think I just document who this person is. So, let's really quick do a little break. So I can maybe charge my phone a little bit. So yeah, we're gonna do a little break, take a bio break, all that kind of stuff. Maybe check out the Kickstarter for this game. And see if you want to back it, because there's only a couple days left and it's a very good game. Let's see, break screen. All right, and then we're on the break screen. I don't have promos ready for upcoming streams, so I have the promo for this stream, and then I have the thumbnail for my most recent YouTube upload, which I'm going to be adding to my break screens now, I think. So that, or maybe my YouTube video that's coming. I think it maybe comes out tomorrow. Anyway, I'll see you in a little bit. Bye. Hello, everyone, back from break. And hello, Angela Odling. Thanks so much for being in chat. I hope I didn't miss you because you came in when I was on break. But hello. I've got my phone as my second camera, and I've got that. I charged it up a little bit, and I switched to a different battery. We'll see if it holds for the rest of the stream. Hopefully it does. So, the last thing that we did in this game, which is currently Kickstarter. Is that did I spell it right? Yes. Currently funding on Kickstarter, and I highly suggest people check it out. We are going through trying to rebuild our life and get our parents back together while also becoming, a self-actualized teenager. Self-actualized? I don't know. A teenager. So we drew a card that gave us a foil of our mom Jamie's brother, who has reason to kind of dislike our other mom for the way that she acts in the marriage, basically. And so we're drawing 3 new cards. These are all keepsakes, I believe. Yes. So let's see. We did swords last time. Let's do 9 of pentacles for our keepsake this time. So we're discovering something, a keepsake of our parents. And I have to go down to the keepsakes to see what it is for the 9 of pentacles. A half-empty bottle of perfume or cologne is the keepsake that we find. So let's do 9 of pentacles. Half-empty bottle of, let's say, perfume. The scent reminds Jude of someone, which is us. Who? Interesting. Okay. So I think the way that Jude finds this keepsake is that I already told the story of like how I started wearing makeup as a kid, which is just I went in my mom's room and tried on some of her makeup when I was like 14. So I think Jude is doing a similar thing where she's like kind of trolling around the house. It's summer still, I think, so she's kind of like looking for stuff to do. Old enough that she can probably be home alone, or maybe like her grandma is watching her or something like that. And so she's kind of just getting into trouble and is like, oh, I think maybe I do want to try makeup. So goes into what is now Jamie's room because Micah is in the process of moving out. And just starts kind of looking around for stuff and specifically finds this, I think, is looking in like the closet because she's like, I know my mom has like other stuff that she wears sometimes. So like looking around in the closet maybe for like a cute top or something. And finds some perfume bottles and stuff like that Jamie doesn't use really very often or at all. The scent reminds Jude of someone. Huh. Maybe I feel like the scent would remind Jude of whoever gave Jamie this perfume, or maybe whoever inspired Jamie to try this perfume. So maybe the scent reminds Jude of I'm trying to decide if I just want to be straightforward or if I want to be kind of like roundabout. Maybe reminds Jude of one of Micah's bandmates. One of Micah's bandmates. So it's kind of unclear, since it's in this closet, and this closet used to be Micah and Jamie's closet, whether the perfume is Micah's, whether it's Jamie's, who bought it, why. I think that's good. So Jude writes about it and is like, I found this perfume. It smells like the perfume that so-and-so wears. If I draw another accomplice or foil, maybe that'll be who that person is. And is just like kind of confused of like why her mom has it, like where it came from. Next cards. Next pulls. We've got 3. We have a major arcana, Temperance, which is cool. I think I'll go with that. So we can either put this in our twists pile and have another moment of development in our teen life or our preteen life, or we can use it to spring a trap. So let's see what this moment would be should we use it. Temperance is experience a painful failure. So we'll put it in this pile regardless, I think. Because I think I do want to spring a trap. And what am I giving up? What twist moment am I giving up to spring this trap? Because we have to spend one of these. So it could be find a new best friend. It could be what was the magician? The magician was visit the new home of the parent who moved out, getting a crush, or experiencing a painful failure. I mean, the one I'm drawn to, of course, is experience a painful failure. Like that's a good one to give up. But I kind of want it to be something that's a little sadder than that. To not be able to experience because we're trying to get our parents back together. So we'll keep. I like the High Priestess and Temperance to keep. That maybe those are things that Jude might experience, which means I'm either not having a crush or not having a best friend. What do we think? What is Jude going to give up to get her parents back together? Is she going to give up her best friend or is she going to give up her crush? I think it might be the crush. I think it might be the crush. So we're going to use this to spring a trap, which is our first time springing a trap in this game, which is a big part of it because it's kind of inspired by the Parent Trap or the game It Takes Two, which are both kind of about kids trying to get their parents back together through trickery. And in one case, magic. Okay. Traps are encounters between Micah and Jamie that Jude organizes in an attempt to bring them back together. It's up to you exactly how Jude makes each trap happen. I read this earlier. To spring a trap, you need 3 keepsake cards, which you'll sacrifice and send to the discard pile, plus 1 major arcana from the twists stack. The keepsakes you choose are prompts for the content of your trap. Maybe Jude sells a fancy ornament keepsake to get the money. Okay, so what we have to give up 3 of these keepsakes. The keepsakes we have are a crystal ornament that Micah gave Jamie for their first Valentine's Day, the birth certificate, Jude's birth certificate, a friendship bracelet that was taken off because it broke, the baby book from Jamie's mom for Jude's birth, or this half-empty bottle of perfume that we found. Okay. Let's do... I think... Let's have Jude, I think, is going to try to do a fancy, like, dinner but at home. So she's going to make a dinner. Like, maybe Micah is coming over to, like, pick up some of her stuff. And so Jude's like, I'm going to do this fancy dinner for the two of them to rekindle their love. So we'll sacrifice the 8 of Pentacles, which is the crystal ornament. I think the friendship bracelet, which Jude doesn't exactly know who it belonged to, but is like has made up this thing where she's like, my mom. I feel like she would call her moms 2 different things. I feel like Jamie is mom, and Micah is what'd she call Micah? Because I'm like mom and mommy, but mommy's kind of young, so maybe she used to say mommy. Maybe mama doesn't feel right. What if it's Micah, who's like a punk musician? Maybe they're both mom. I don't know, maybe they're just both mom. I feel like mom fits both of them. Okay, so you know that my mom gave my other mom. And then our third one, I think, is this half-empty bottle of perfume. So we've got a couple things there that if this backfires, because we don't know who the bracelet actually belongs to, we don't know what the origin of this of this perfume is. I think maybe Jude gets Jamie to change into something else. Is like, I made this dinner, put on this outfit, and has sprayed that outfit with the perfume. So that's what we're sacrificing. And next we're going to roll. We have to roll to see how the trap went. You roll 2d6 and take note of the result. Oh, and then we will draw from our accomplices and foil stacks, which I know that that's not going to be good for me because I know we only have a foil. So we've got a 6, which is already a failure. And then we also draw a card, which we know is a foil. So we actually got a 5. When you write about your trap, remember to mention how this character helped or hindered Jude's efforts. Now that you have your total, let's see how you did. 6 or lower is a failure, mark a hurt, which means, oh, this ends in a fight between Jude's parents. Okay. So, oh, okay. So Jude has this, like, the crystal, like, makes a dinner for her parents and is, like, wearing, like a little, like, black button-down shirt and, like, khaki pants, is, like, pretending to be a waiter and, like, made this dinner and then puts this, like, crystal on the table. And I think, like, has the friendship bracelet, like, around the bottom of the crystal, has sprayed this perfume on her mom. And I think part of the reason why this backfires is because, um, the brother, oh yes, I did name, Uncle John comes over unexpectedly. So Uncle John shows up in the middle of this dinner. And also, I think Micah gets upset. There's something about the perfume I feel like makes Micah upset. I'm trying to figure out what it is. It's her bandmate's perfume. So I think she thinks Jamie's being passive aggressive about something by wearing like this perfume that her bandmate got her that is the same perfume that she wears. And but then maybe Jamie thinks that Micah like put Jude up to this, or that Micah like sprayed the perfume or whatever. So they end up having a fight. Um Especially because I think they're trying to keep it together. They're trying to like just enjoy this dinner even though it's like very awkward for them. Because that's obviously their daughter's like organizing it. And then John swings by. He was like coming over to like help with some kind of project around the house or like help pack something up or move something out. And Micah makes some kind of passive aggressive comment. John overhears it and like defends Jamie, and then it just turns into this big fight. So we lose. We only have 1 heart for the parents, and we lose it. Um. Da, 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 da. I think, yeah, because let me see where the rules are for the fight. Making hearts to hurt. When you mark a hurt, Jude finds out something. Oh, when you mark a hurt, Jude finds out something bad about Mike and Jamie's relationship. Directly after the discovery, Jude should have a heart-to-heart, a meaningful conversation with one or both of her parents. This should give Jude some extra insight into their parents' relationship. Okay. They actually lose 2 hearts, but we only have 1 to lose. So I think hearts goes back to 0. So we're at 0 hearts, 0 hurts. This really backfired. If the trap fails, place the major arcana in your discard pile. So we have to start a discard pile. I'll just put that kind of off, almost off camera. So we don't even get to put a card in the rebuild a life spread. So yeah, so it turns into like this fight where like I think it's one of those things where like they finish the dinner and then they're like, "Hey Jude, hey Jude, don't make it bad. Hey Jude, we'll clean up. Like why don't you go upstairs?" And then this like fight kind of escalates into, I don't think it's them like yelling at each other, but Jude from upstairs can hear that there's like a fight happening. I can hear that like Uncle John is like getting in on it and like saying some stuff, and Micah ends up leaving without saying goodbye. And after a little while, Jamie comes upstairs. She's obviously writing about this in her journal and is like, I just don't understand. Like, it was supposed to be so romantic. I had this like crystal thing and that, like, all this different stuff. And, I think Jamie comes upstairs and is just like, hey, you know, the lasagna you made was really good, but next time you're gonna do something like this, you know, it's really hard for us to, um, and I think this is the first time that Jude, she realized something bad about Mike and Jamie's relationship. And I think it's the first time that she realizes, even though she's heard them fight before, I think it's the first time that she realizes that this isn't just like a misunderstanding or like I can get them back together really easily. I think she thought like this is going to do it. And yeah, I think then Jamie talks to Jude a little bit more. I think Jude doesn't want to talk about it too much, but Jamie is like, you know, how are you feeling about this? That kind of thing, and trying to get Jude to open up about it a little bit. So that's that draw. Our first trap not going super well. We're also almost 2 hours in, so I don't even know actually if I'm going to get through this whole game because we only have one build a life card. But okay, so we have another opportunity for an accomplice or foil. So let's do that instead of a keepsake, I think. And I also feel like I take a long time with journaling games. I think I take a longer time than most people. So we've got the Knight of Cups, which is a popular, ambitious older teen. I love that. Okay, let's roll a die to see if they're an accomplice. It's funny if they're a foil. They're an accomplice. Okay. A popular, ambitious older teen. This is an accomplice because we rolled, I think it's a 4 or higher, and we got a 6. So let's do a heading for that. And this is, let's say Sarah. I think maybe after that heart to heart, Jamie and Micah get Jude signed up for like a support group of like kids whose parents are going through divorce. And I think Sarah is older than Jude, goes to the same school. It's summer, maybe. Well, it's probably kind of about school's about to start again. Is a grade above, but Sarah, something Jude says during this like thing, Sarah's like, I'm trying to do that with my parents too. I'm also trying to parent trap my parents. So a cool older girl, let's say she's 13, who from Jude's divorce support group, who is also trying to get her parents back together. I should also say, one other thing that I haven't done yet with this game is you can also just skip. So like if I can just keep skipping until I get like major arcana cards if I want to. So like I don't have to document every single keepsake, every single what's it called? Accomplice or foil. But let's do the next thing. So we have 2 keepsakes and 1 possible foil. If I skip, do I just discard these? I might do a keepsake. I don't know. Let's see what happens if we skip. Document your draw. Write or pass. If you choose to pick a twist or spring a trap, write about how that went. If you didn't do either of these things in the previous step, but still want to write. Oh, you actually don't have to write. You can choose to pass. So I have been doing more than I need to do, I think, with these. I think. Anyway, so I don't even have to write about these as much as I haven't been writing, but I've been thinking about them more than I need to. Okay. So I don't pass cards. I can just choose whether I'm writing about them or not. Let's flesh out some more accomplices or foils. So we've got the Queen of Cups. Let's see who this is. The Queen of Cups is a nurturing spiritual adult who is also an accomplice. Oh, you know what? I need to write down. I haven't been writing down what card it is, and I actually need to be able to do that so when I pull them, I know who it is. Okay, so King of Swords. Sarah is this cool accomplice who's the Knight of Cups. I feel like Sarah's gotta be a horse girl, right? Because it is a horse on the card. Knight of Cups. And then finally we just drew the Queen of Cups. Queen of Cups, who is a nurturing spiritual adult. The example given is Raphael Gilbert, he, him, an aging hippie and aromatherapist who's a friend of both Micah and Jamie. Maybe this is I feel like this has to be the woman in the band that has the very distinct perfume that that neither parent actually wants to wear that much. So let's see, what name do we want to have for this nurturing spiritual adult in a punk band? Let's look up name generator, fantasy name generator, real names. English American names. Ooh, Ruby. I like that. That's a good name. Ruby. She, her. Micah's bandmate. Why is she an accomplice? I don't even know if the bandmate is that invested in getting the parents back together. I think she just sometimes babysits Jude and really has a fondness for her and is kind of indulgent. Sometimes babysitter. I think she's not that much older than Jude. Well, I guess she is, but like maybe she's like early 20s. She's like younger than Jude's parents. Micah's bandmate, sometimes babysitter. Indulgent and goes along with Jude's plans. I think that's good. All right. Next draw, because we don't have to document that. We do have, ooh, okay, we've got another Major Arcana, which I think every time I get a Major Arcana, I'm just going to go with that option. I don't think we can do a trap because we don't have 3 keepsakes. So this means we get another chance to do, yeah, we don't have enough keepsakes. We put this here, and we actually get to have a teen growing up moment. So down at the very bottom. Okay, so we have visit the new home of a parent who moved out, find a new BFF for real. Experience a painful failure. And the world, which is the one we just drew. The world. Is it on the next page? Yes. Make a sacrifice for the sake of your family. Oh. Let's do find a new BFF for real. Because I really like Sarah as a character. So I think, let's put this here. We're building a new life. It's kind of out of screen a little bit, but we've got the Fool, we've got the High Priestess. And I think this journal entry is, we need to come up with a name for the diary. Oh, Jude loves space. It should be something space related. I wonder if that's in fantasy name generator. Oops, I just closed out of it. Fantasy name generator. Do you have names of space related things? Space related names. Of course. Nova. That's a good one. Luna. That's a good space-related name that a child would pick. I like Nova. What does Nova mean? Nova means new in Latin. Let's do Nova. Maybe this is a journal that Jude... This is the journal that Jamie and Micah got Jude to write about in the hopes that it would help Jude kind of process things. So Nova, it's a new journal. I think Jude does write in journals, but like maybe abandoned her last one, and so this is the new one. So Dear Nova, hung out with Sarah for the first time outside of divorce group. We got together to talk about ways that we could get our parents back together, but she ended up finding out that I went to space camp, and I found out that she went to horse camp. So we talked about camp and talked about the differences between each one and the stuff that we did and our friends from camp. Both of us were, maybe it's something like both of us were embarrassed that we still haven't written to our pen pals. Because like a lot of times you go to camp and you're like, well, oh, email. When I went to camp, we would like give each other our email addresses. So it's like, maybe like Jude is like, I got my friend's email address from camp, but when I emailed, it just bounced back. And like maybe like Jude like couldn't read the handwriting or something. And maybe Sarah is like, I didn't even think of getting my friends' email addresses. So they're kind of like bonding over having like camp friends who they like have lost touch with. Like maybe they both went this summer. Like the beginning of the summer, they both went to horse camp / space camp. They both went to camp. I really like that. And are like, even though I think Jude is intimidated because Sarah's very cool and is a little bit older, but I think they connect over that. That's so cute. Okay. 3 more cards. And we have another Major Arcana, so we're going to go with that. I think we should probably get some more keepsakes because we cannot spring another trap again. Oh, I get to add one to the teen. Oh my gosh. So we're at 2 teen, 0 heart, 0 hurt. And I think the traps are the only way we can add to the heart. So we have to have a trap go well. I think that's the only way that we can do it, unless I'm missing something. Okay, let's see. If you draw an overt arcana, yeah, that's the only way we can do it. So we've got the chariot. We'll add to our twists pile. And as a reminder, if you back this game on Kickstarter while I'm live, you can have me you can be like, do a twist or do a trap. Like you can dictate that. Oh yes, I'm looking at what this new twist means. The chariot. Stand up to a bully. So our next thing, we could either visit the new home of the parent who moved out. I'm kind of leaning towards that. We could experience a painful failure. We could stand up to a bully, or we could make a sacrifice for the sake of your family. I really have been wanting to do visit Micah's new house because we know a lot about Jamie, but I feel like we do not know as much about Micah. So, we visit the new home of the parent who moved out. So I think summer has ended, the school year has begun. I think Jamie and Micah eventually are going to do more of like a split custody thing, but they're still figuring out what that is and with school and all this different stuff. So what part of this is this wall? So we'll put this here. Shockingly, like I have this nice big desk and I still feel like I don't have enough room for everything. We've got that wall. I guess it's because now I have all these discard piles and draw piles. I want to keep this here so I remember to show it to everybody. Let's say we move this here. Move this here. Move this here. Move these down almost out of frame. That. Sure. So yeah, so this diary entry is I get to add another to my teen. I need to do more traps because I'm at 3 teen. Sorry, I'm scrolling through to make sure that I'm doing the twist right. Rebuild a life. Spring a trap. Teen. Okay, teen taps out at 5. Okay, so we're more than halfway to being a teenager. So we're into the school year. And this journal entries, Dear Nova, writing from Micah's new place. It's weird because Micah isn't living in a house. She's living in an apartment and she has roommates. I don't really understand. I don't know why she would choose to live in an apartment instead of a house. I remember this as a kid. I remember going, because I grew up in a house, and I remember going to one of my parents' friends who lived in an apartment, and I was like, why would you live in an apartment? A house is so much better. Because I, like, didn't know. Like, I did, because we lived in my grandpa's house. So it was, like, kind of, you know, a lot of people can't afford a house, which now I live in an apartment. I know. But I was like, when I grow up, I'm going to live in a house. The apartment is fine, but a house, you have so much more room. So yeah, I think Jude, I was younger than 12 when that happened. I was probably like 7 or 8, but still. Jude is like, I don't know why Micah's living here. It's so small. Um, and I think Jude is also like, then the worst part of all of it is there's not even a room for me here. So when I come to stay, I just have to sleep in an air mattress in what room? What would this be? An air mattress in the living room, or I think what it would actually be is Micah has turned she has a walk-in closet in her bedroom and has made it like a little mini bedroom for Jude, which is very sweet. But Jude's used to having like a room, so she's like, I have to sleep in the closet on an air mattress. And Micah put up some little like twinkly lights and gave me some glow in the dark stars to put on the walls and ceiling. But if I come and stay here, am I gonna have to sleep in a closet? Like, I think Jude just feels like weird about it and is like, Micah can't live like this. I need to get them back together. So that's that card. I move my teen up to 3. And then we draw 3 more cards. Oh, okay. We have another major arcana. We can't do a trap, though. So do I want to do... I said I was going to just do major arcana if we got them. But I want to be able to do twists. And right now or do traps. And right now I can't. So let's do this 10 of wands. So the wheel, you'll come back another time. Because I want to do another trap, you know? So the 10 of wands as a keepsake. Let's see. Da, 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 da. 10 of wands. A piece of clothing that's been patched or otherwise repaired. Who used to wear this all the time? How did it get damaged? Okay. Let's write this first. 10 of wands. A piece of clothing that's been patched or otherwise repaired. Who did this belong to? I think it belonged to Jamie. I think Jude finds it while staying with Micah. And it's I think it's a skirt, like kind of a short skirt that Jamie really liked that she would wear to shows. Like she would go, when she would go to like Micah's like punk shows that she hasn't done in a while. And I think that there was like a hole that was torn in the skirt, and Micah, as a surprise, was patching it up with like a cool like punk patch. and it's like half done. It like never got finished. So Jamie's skirt that tore, Micah has halfway patched it with a cool punk patch. I should be more specific, but I'm not. Okay, so that goes in our keepsakes. We draw 3 more cards. We've got 2 keepsakes or an accomplice. Let's do another keepsake. Let's do cups. I don't think we have any cups right now. Yeah, no cups. I don't think we've had a cups keepsake. I think we've only had swords, wands, pentacles. Oops. Okay. Drop something. 3 of cups. We're still right on the keepsakes page. 3 of cups. The keys to an old car. Whose car was this? Cute. Oh, this is sad. This is really sad. Okay, I thought of an idea. 3 of cups. Oops, 3 of cups. The keys to an old car. So I think the car was, I think it's an older car. It's like kind of like something reliable, like a Toyota or like a Hyundai or like a Honda, something like that. What did my parents, oh, my parents had a Honda Civic when I was a kid that I loved. I've always wanted to have. I mean, I don't even know. They don't even look like the way this car looked, and I loved it as a kid. Even after it stopped working, it was in our driveway for a while, and sometimes I would just go and sit in it. I don't know why. I just loved it so much. So a Honda Civic that doesn't really run very well anymore. And that before the divorce, so I think Micah and Jamie had like one car that like they shared that like worked pretty well. And then the Civic was kind of like, if we need to use it, we can. It's like, not that it doesn't run that well, but it's just like, you know, it's an older car, so you don't want to use it too often. You don't want it to wear out. And I think they always told Jude, or even like someone offhandedly said to Jude, like maybe Jamie one time was like, hey, when you're 16, maybe you could drive that car around. Kind of knowing that like it was an older car, it probably wasn't going to make it that long. But in the divorce, I think Micah now is using the kind of beater car. And so Jude finds like an extra like spare set of keys to it and is like, oh yeah, that's right. I'm not gonna get this car when I'm 16 now. Honda Civic that Jude thought she would get when she turned 16, but now Micah is using now that they've split up. So that goes there. And then we draw 3 more cards. Let's see what they are. Let's see if we get a major arcana. We don't. We've got 3 more keepsakes. So do we want swords, pentacles? What do we have a lot of so far? We've got a lot of swords. Let's get a pentacles in here. Let's do 10. Well, that's the only pentacles we have. 10 of pentacles. Which is a piece of gold jewelry. What special occasion was this bought for? Cool. That's very cool. Put these back in the deck. Yeah, what special occasion was this gold jewelry bought for? 10 of pentacles. A piece of gold jewelry. I think Micah bought it for Jamie I think it's a wedding ring. That's on the nose, but I think it's Jamie's wedding ring. I think that's just what it is, a piece of gold jewelry. That Jude I think Jude pockets it. I don't even know if it's so much that she discovers it, but I think one day, maybe it's like the middle of October, that Jamie was still wearing her wedding ring, kind of just without thinking about it. And then one day she took it off, like when she was doing like dishes, put it on the sink, and then never put it back on. And I think Jude just pockets it for something to use later to trap her parents. Okay, we've got 2 major arcana this time, the sun and strength. So we can pick one of these to add to our pile. Let's do the sun. I like the sun. So I won't even be swayed by like what these cards stand for. I'm just gonna pick it. And I think we should do a twist. Or the opposite. I think we should do a trap because we have cards now. Oh, these are supposed to be face down. The sun. Go on the best holiday of your life. Okay, so what are we giving up? We have to give up a holiday. We have to give up a painful failure. We have to give up a sacrifice for the sake of the family. Or what was the chariot? Stand up to a bully. One of these things we won't experience because we're going to use it for a trap. Geez, what do I want it to be? What do I want it to be? Let's... I feel like I think it's the holiday. I think we're giving up the best holiday of our life. I think that makes sense. It's not summer anymore. And also, my parents are at 0 hearts, so I don't think we're taking a family vacation anytime soon. So what are our keepsakes we have? We have, let me X through the ones that I've used. Oops. We've used the ornament. We've used the friendship bracelet. And we've used the half-empty bottle of perfume. Okay, so we have our birth certificates, our baby book that our grandma gave to our mom, piece of clothing, Jamie's skirt that Micah has halfway patched, Jamie's wedding ring, and then the keys to an old car. That was the one that Jude thought that she would get when she turned 16. So what 3 keepsakes can we use to spring a trap? Keys to the car. I think Jude is going to make a big deal about, like, I was supposed to get this car, so Micah needs to get a new car because this car is supposed to be mine, I think. So we'll use the car keys as one piece of this trap, which is the 3 of Cups. The second piece of this trap is... let's do the piece of clothing. 10 of Wands. Oops. And then let's do... What's the other one? The baby book, the birth... I'm having a hard time figuring out how I would use the baby book or the birth certificate. So Ace of Swords or 6 of Swords. So that leaves us with the wedding ring. Let's do the wedding ring, I guess. I feel like the baby book and the birth certificate, it's like we could use those together somehow. I'm not sure how, but these 3 let's do. So I think the trap is that Jude tells Jamie that she's really upset about the car thing and is like, we have to take it to a mechanic so that it can still work, you know, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So they go over to the house. Jude has put the wedding ring in the pocket of the skirt that's torn. And so when they get to the place, maybe she's like, we need to all work on this car together. So she's like, we got to go over to Micah's house. If Micah's going to be driving this car, it needs to be in tip-top shape so that I can get it when I'm 16. So let's go over to Micah's place. We'll all work on the car together. Or we're like, teach me how to change the oil or something. Like, she's like, we have to do this. She spills oil intentionally on Jamie and is like, you know, to the point where Jamie can't wear it anymore. And Mike, or, and Jude is like, I'll go and see if there's something that you can wear from inside. I'll go see if I can find something. Gets the skirt, puts the wedding ring in the pocket of the skirt, and brings it out for Jamie to wear, hoping that remembering the skirt and seeing the, like, surprise of the patch on it. I think Jude has finished sewing the patch on. The next thing we need to do is shuffle these and see if there's an accomplice or foil that helps us. Our odds are good this time. I hope that our uncle doesn't show up, because I would actually kind of like this to work. So, please don't be Uncle John. God damn it. So we'll take one away from this roll because our freaking Uncle John is here. That's 10 minus, or yeah, that's 10 minus 1. That's 9, which I think is a mixed success. I have to go up and look. I wish we could have got a friend instead of an enemy. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Uncle John freaking bumps this from a full success to a partial success. Place the twist card in your rebuild a life spread and choose an outcome. Okay, so we do at least get to put this in our build a life. So that goes here. Choose an outcome. Mark 1 heart and an accomplice becomes a foil. You must have, okay. We have an accomplice. We can do that. Mark 1 heart and 1 hurt or remove 1 hurt. So we can't remove 1 hurt. We don't have any hurt. So we can either have an accomplice become a foil, which could work. The bandmate could be one of the roommates. That's our accomplice. Or we could mark 1 heart and 1 hurt. Let's mark 1 heart and 1 hurt. And I think the reason why it's a heart and a hurt is that Jamie finds it very sweet that the skirt has been repaired and remembers, like, when she used to go to Micah's shows more often and misses it, you know? So Jude sees that, like, Jude is, like, writing about it in her journal later, and she's like, I think this, like, worked, and I saw the way that Jamie was looking at her, but then I think Micah notices, because, like, Jamie, like, reaches in the pocket, she can feel something and takes out the wedding ring, and Micah sees that Jamie isn't wearing her wedding ring anymore, and looks kind of sad about it. Freaking Uncle John. Oh, and how was John there? John's helping us fix the car. And I think he is like, maybe the skirt, like, doesn't fit that well or something like that. So he's like, I'll run back to your place and get you some, like, fresh clothes because, like, your shirt is, like, oily or whatever. So the skirt just gets, I think the skirt just kind of gets forgotten about. I think it ends up in the back of the car. And neither Micah nor Jamie take hold of it. Like seem like they're keeping it. So those are going there, but we did add to our rebuild a life spread, so that's great. Draw 3 more cards. And we have another, we could do a twist, or we could add a thingy. So let's see, how many more cards do we need to build a life? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're less than halfway there. Let's put this in our twist pile. Oh wait, I got confused about what pile was which. That's my discard pile. So let's build our life. Let's at least get halfway there. So we can, what is the devil? The devil is fall in with the wrong crowd. Ooh. I do like that. How would that happen with Jude? I don't know if it fits Jude's trajectory, but I do really like that card. Let's experience a painful failure. Let's do temperance, because I do kind of want to get that one in here. So this is placed where? And build a life. I think it goes here. So this is our roof, the part of our roof. And I think Jude studies really, really hard for a test. I think maybe I feel like it should be something she is not very good at, but she studies really hard for. Maybe it's embarrassing that she's not very good at it. I think earlier, like elementary school, she was like, I'm really good at science. And now she's getting more into like the beginnings of math being introduced and like chemistry kind of stuff, where it's not just like fun facts about animals and fun thing like the stars and stuff like that. It's starting to get into more of like the hard science. It's, you know, she's 12, so it's not the most complicated thing, but it's, you know, she's about to, pretty soon she's going to be in high school. So I think she studies really hard for this test because there's a part of her that can tell she's not completely understanding everything and that science is getting harder for her. And I think even though she studies really hard, she still does really bad on the test. I think she gets a D on the test. And normally when she would do bad in school, do I want it to be that? No, I actually think it's not a test. Here's what I think it is. I think it's science fair. I think she normally loves doing science fair. She normally does really well. She normally places. She gets like first, second, or third place in science fair. And she works really hard on this like space themed science project. And I think normally she and Micah and Jamie work on it together. But this year, I think Jamie's back in law school. Micah's living in a different house. So they both help, but they can't help as much as they normally would. And I think that Jude doesn't place in the science fair and is really upset about it. And normally, whenever something happens where she like does bad on a test or something like that, she has, you know, two parents that like they'll all like go out and do like something together. But this time it's that Jamie like takes her out to dinner at her favorite place and they talk about like what they could do next time or whatever, and I think Jamie like apologizes that she couldn't help as much with it, and I think Micah calls her and they talk about it, but it still doesn't feel the same. And I think Jude still feels pretty sad about it. But I am at 4 now for teens, so Cece, don't do that. Hang on. My cat, I forgot to spray my thing with this anti-cat spray. I forgot to spray my divider with my anti-cat spray, and I thought that I could get away with it. Okay. 3 more cards. Da-da-da. 3 more cards. Ooh, okay, we have the moon, we have the Knight of Pentacles, and we have the Nine of Wands. I mean, it's the moon. I kind of want to do the moon. Even though I can't make this a trap. And I do want to do at least one more trap before we're done. I gotta do the moon. I'm a space kid. I gotta do the moon. I've got a moon right here. I got a moon right here. What life event is this? Jude's doing a bad job at getting her parents back together. Hurt someone's feelings badly. Ugh, okay. Jude's having a hard time, so I can stand up to a bully. I don't know if I'm gonna do that one. I don't really know what the bullying would be. I could do the world is make a sacrifice for the sake of my family. The devil has fallen with the wrong crowd. The moon has hurt someone's feelings badly. Whose feelings am I gonna hurt? I think that's the one I want to do. So I'm now 5 teen. So my teen is max. The moon. Whose feelings do I hurt? Oh. I could bring in one of my accomplices or someone else who's been established. But I think if I'm at 5 teen, there's a point in your life as a kid when you realize that you can hurt your parents' feelings. And I feel like that's what it is. I feel like if it's 5 teen, I feel like it's she hurts, I think, Micah's feelings. I feel like Micah's been getting kind of short shrift so far. And I remember when I was a kid, I don't know why I did this, but I was really mad at my parents, and I wrote a journal entry that was like, I wish I had a different family. And then I showed it to my mom for some reason, and I could tell it really hurt her feelings. Like, what I wrote really hurt her feelings. And it was the first time that I was like, whoa, like, I thought these were just, like, automatons that existed to, like, serve me, kind of. Not to that degree, but that's, like, kind of how you feel about parents when you're, like, young. And I was like, oh, this is, like, a real, like, thing I can do. I can, like, hurt their feelings. And I felt really bad about it. So I think I hurt Micah's feelings. And I think it's Dear Nova. I was supposed to go to Micah's today, but I just didn't want to sleep in that tiny closet tonight. I am trying to, like, my science class is getting really hard, and I just feel like I can't go to school in the morning after sleeping on an air mattress in a closet, and Micah's roommates are really loud. So when she came to pick me up at school, I told her that I didn't want to sleep in a tiny closet and I wanted to sleep in a real bed, and asked her to take me home. And she took me home, but the drive was really quiet. And before I got out of the car, she asked if I would rather sleep in the living room on the air mattress or sleep in the bedroom. And I said, I don't think I want to come over anymore. And I don't know why I said it, but she just nodded and said, okay, we'll figure out something else to do. And I went inside, and I feel really bad. I think that's the journal entry. Ugh. Ugh. Sad. This is terrible. Jude needs something to go her way. Okay, we've got the Emperor and we've got Justice. We've got 2 major arcana, but we also have a keepsake. Should I take the keepsake? But I might get draws in the future that are all keepsakes, so maybe I should do another major arcana. Let's see what the Emperor is. We passed up the Emperor before, I think, so let's do that. And then hope we get keepsakes next. So this is another big moment for Jude's life, but she's already at 15. So, you know, the Emperor is you inherit a chunk of money. Okay. That's interesting. So we could stand up to a bully, fall in with the wrong crowd, inherit a chunk of money, or give something up. Let's inherit a chunk of money. That's pretty easy. Yeah. Maybe, I don't think I want it to be like I was thinking it could be like one of Jamie's parents. Things are already going pretty rough for Jude, so I think it's a relative that she doesn't really know, like a distant relative. And she inherits a chunk of money, and she's like, "This is great because I can save it, and I can go to space camp again next year." Because with the divorce, we were thinking maybe I wouldn't be able to go. So this is pretty straightforward. She just inherits a chunk of money. So writes really excitedly about it. Little does she know, we do have a card that she has to give something up for her family. So maybe that'll come up. Let's see. Let's get okay. We wanted a keepsake. We got a keepsake, so we'll go with that. We are only 2 cards away from finishing building a life, so we're getting close to the end here. And we're at 1 heart, 1 hurt for my parents. 2 of Swords. What is this keepsake? 2 of Swords. A travel guide. What faraway location is this a guide for? Who wanted to go there? Interesting. Okay. 2 of Swords. A travel guide. What faraway location is this a guide for? Who wanted to go there? Let's say Japan, because I'm thinking maybe Micah's dream is to do like to tour with her band and like do a world tour and go to Japan and play. So we'll say Japan. Micah wanted to go there. And I think it's like maybe a book on the shelf that didn't make it in the move. So we've got that. Next. Okay, more. We could do another keepsake. We've got 3 of Swords, 7 of Swords, or 7 of Wands. We're already at Swords, so let's do 3 of Swords. A Valentine's card, which is very fitting for what this card is. What is the message inside? Okay. I think this is a more recent Valentine's card. I think the message inside, it's from, let's see, 3 of Swords. A Valentine's card. I think the message inside just says, "Love you," from Jamie to Micah, and maybe Jude's signature poorly signed. Maybe it's maybe not super recent. Maybe from when Jude was little. So we've got that. I'm worried I'm like skipping steps, but I think I'm doing good. Page of Cups, 6 of Cups, 3 of Wands. The other thing you can do, which I haven't been doing just because I haven't been journaling this, I've just been kind of talking through what the journal entries would be. But when you get cards, you can choose not to write a journal entry about them, or you can choose to write a journal entry about them. Or there's some preteen events that you can write about in between traps and twists. So you can choose to like, write more about those types of things instead of writing about the keepsake or about the person. So, okay, so we've got the Page of Cups, we've got the 6 of Cups, we've got the 3 of Wands. Page of Cups is an accomplice or foil. Or we could get some more keepsakes. Let's do... I'm going to peek at what these are to help me decide. I've been gone in without peeking, but I'm going to peek. Six of Cups is a photograph of some people in a swimming pool. Three of Wands is a fragile piece of origami. And Page of Cups is a quiet, nerdy child. Let's have a quiet, nerdy child accomplice. Okay, so I think that Jude is struggling with sciencey stuff. And this might not be an accomplice, this might be a foil. It's funny to me if a child is a foil, but oh, this child is a foil. So, dang, that's really not what I need. I need more accomplices. Page of Cups. I think this is like Jude is now in like a study group or something like that because she's like struggling a little bit in school. So I think this is a kid who is like almost like this. 12 is a little young for this, but the idea is almost like a peer tutor. So like a kid who's like good at one thing, but like maybe not good at something else, and they're like in a study group together. What is this kid's name? I closed out of fantasy name generator for some reason. Oh, Dylan. Dylan. Nerdy kid in peer tutoring. That's not exactly what it is, but that's what I'm gonna write. I think just doesn't like Jude. I think Jude is pretty boisterous and loud. And a lot of times like wrong about what she's saying. Like she'll be like, "Oh, here's this like cool science fact," but it's like not exactly true. And I think Dylan just doesn't really like Jude. I think Jude is maybe a little bit mean to Dylan without realizing. I think Dylan almost views Jude as like his bully. I don't think Jude is trying to be a bully, but sometimes when you're a kid, you just kind of say things and you're not the nicest. So I think that's who this kid is. So let's let's do that. That's really funny. And then let's hope I kind of am itching for a major arcana, to be honest with you. So let's see if we get one. Oh, we do. We get the wheel again. We have two potential accomplices or foils, but we're not going to use them. We're going to do a major arcana because I said I wanted one. The wheel. So this goes in our stack of twist cards. And this one. And I think we're going to do another trap because I wanted to do at least one more. And I hope it goes off because I want to add it to my card pile. The wheel. The Wheel of Fortune. Enter a competition that matters to you. We gotta do that one. Oh, shoot, but we're doing a twist. Ah! Or we're doing not a twist. I keep calling traps twist. We're doing a trap. Okay, so I'm saving the wheel. I do want to maybe do that one. There were two that I thought I probably wouldn't end up doing. The Devil, Fall in with the Wrong Crowd, or the Chariot, Stand Up to a Bully. Let's sacrifice falling in with the wrong crowd. So we're sacrificing that. And we have to use 3 keepsake cards. The keepsakes we have are the travel guide, the Valentine's Day card, the birth certificate, and the baby book. Okay, let's do the birth certificate. Ace of Swords. Let's do the baby book, maybe? 6 of Swords. And then let's do the Valentine's Day card. And I think what this is, I think this is almost kind of Jude trying to like apologize to Micah and brings up that Micah's name's not on the birth certificate. And so wants to do something like make a new birth certificate together and have both of her parents sign it. I think that's what it is. And I think how do the baby book and the Valentine's Day card? And how is she trying to get her parents back together? I think... Hmm. How is she incorporating the baby book and the Valentine's Day card? I think she's just like, look at the stuff I found, and like has the baby book and puts the Valentine's Day card in it so it can like fall out and it'll be like, look at how much you loved each other. I think that's I think that's the trap. These traps, I feel like I should probably be coming up with more elaborate traps, but I am not. And then we have to see if we get an accomplice or a foil. Please give me an accomplice. Please not Uncle John or this boy Dylan who doesn't like me. Yes. That's my best friend. My best friend is helping me with this. Hell yeah. Okay. Please, please roll good. Please roll good. Just did not roll good. God damn it. I only got a 5, which even with help only brings me to a 6. I wanted this trap to work so bad. And I think it's a full failure. I think I add hurt again. Ugh, 6 or lower is a failure. Mark a hurt. 1 higher. If I would have rolled 1 higher. Ugh. Mark a hurt. Okay, that's all I do. I just mark a hurt. Oh, where is my... Okay, so we're at 2 hurt. Obviously, my accomplice helped me come up with this plan. I think she had a plan. I think Sarah had a plan like this that worked. She was like, I think my parents, like, they went on a date together. I think they're like, and the way that I did it is I showed them, I found my dad's old love letters to my mom and I tucked them into a book that I showed, like, I was like, my school, no, school book doesn't make sense. I tucked them into a book, a photo album. I tucked them into a photo album and they fell out. And then my mom and dad went on a date together. So this could work. So that's what Jude tries to do. And it doesn't work because I think at this point, I think Micah and Jamie both are kind of catching on to what Jude's trying to do. And so I think, and the way that this hurts, every time there's a hurt, you find out something negative about the relationship. And I think that they signed the birth certificate, but I think it comes up that Micah wasn't there for Jude's birth because she was in the middle of like a concert. She was like on tour. She was gone. And Jude came early and Micah I think Micah decided to have the concert even though it was around the time that Jude was maybe going to be born. And so I think that Jude finds that out, like, and is like, "Dear Diary, I thought that like Micah's name wasn't on the birth certificate because you know they're not legally married, so her name's not on the birth certificate. Maybe that's true, but also Micah wasn't even there when I was born, so it's like this whole thing that she finds out about the relationship and that Micah has not, even though Micah loves Jude more than she loves her band, I don't think Micah loves Jamie more than she loves her band. So that's not a fun way for that to go. And then we've got, okay, we could have an accomplice, we could have another item. We need another, I think we'll have this be another keepsake. Because we need 2 more if we want to do another trap. I don't know if I am going to do another trap, to be honest. We've only got 2 cards left. We've got 2 hurts and 1 heart. So I think Jude is not very good at this. Maybe it's on me. I'm not thinking of that good of traps. I should have looked up what the traps were in the parent trap. I don't remember what all the I remember they tried to trap the parents. But I don't remember what the traps were. 10 of cups. I went too far. 10 of cups. A wedding photograph. Whose wedding was this? Well, it's got... I mean, I feel like it should just be Micah and Jamie's wedding. Again, is that like too obvious? But I feel like it should be. 10 of cups. A wedding photo from Micah and Jamie's wedding. I feel like they got married pretty young. I think. So that's what that is. Okay, we have another Major Arcana. Let's go for it. This one's strength, so we'll add that to our twists pile. But I don't know if that's the one we're going to do. We might do a different twist from the pile, but strength. Protect someone or something. So we have the chariot, stand up to a bully. We have the world. I kind of do want to do the world. The world is make a sacrifice for the sake of your family. I think that's the one I want to do. She's already at 15. I can't add anything to it, but I do get to add to my build a life. Okay. What is the sacrifice? The sacrifice is going to be the inheritance that she got. I think... Because I think I think it's going to be the inheritance money that she got. I feel like it just sets up too well for that. So, what is the reason she has to give it up for the sake of her family? So I think it's like, I mean, how much would Space Camp have been in 2002? Like $500 or something like that, probably. Maybe less than that. So let's say it's like $500. And what is the sacrifice? Like, what is she spending $500 on for her family? A part of me is like the car, something with like the car breaking down. But then I'm thinking about the whole, like, Micah not having a room for Jude. This is like kind of a more mature thing for her to do. I think we're into winter now. Oh, Christmas gift. Could be a Christmas gift. She could spend probably not all of the $500. Enough that she can't pay for herself to go to space camp. And I think for Christmas... Huh. Okay. This is kind of, I don't know, this is kind of not like a huge sacrifice. Oh, I was looking for my phone, but I'm using it to film. Let me see. Oh, damn, it came out. Okay. Okay, well, my idea that I had, I don't think is gonna work. What I was thinking is that Jude could get... that Jude could, like, to want to bond with Micah more. Could have gotten, like, a Wii and, like Rock Band to be like, we can all, like, play together. Which is kind of sacrifice for the sake of the family, but not something that's, like, super sad. Something that just shows, like, maturity, but it's also something Jude would like. But the Wii didn't come out until 2006, and I don't think... what year did Rock Band come out? Probably... Or, like, Guitar Hero. 2007. So I don't think that can work. Guitar Hero, 2005. Too late. Doomed. Doomed to not be able to have it be that. Which would have been so good. So what do I want this to be? A Christmas gift that Jude thinks will help her family. I think then maybe she gets herself. I think she. We're probably not going to do another. We're probably not going to do another twist. We have one card left. The twists have not been going very well. I think it's kind of almost a sign of like Jude has started to accept the fact that her parents aren't getting back together. Maybe it's even like, yeah, so it's like Christmas. If she gets, maybe it's not Christmas. This doesn't really make that much sense for a Christmas gift. Maybe it's the new year. Maybe it's after winter break. She's going back to school. It's like January. She uses her money to buy a bed to keep at Micah's house. And she does it because I think Micah or Jamie would buy a bed for Jude. Like, the air mattress was kind of a temporary thing, but then Jude was like, I don't want to stay there. So I think she buys a bed to keep at Micah's and goes back to staying there. I think that's what the sacrifice is for the family, because she still feels bad about hurting Micah's feelings about that. And then no major arcana. Let's go with one of these for a memento, a keepsake, you might even say. 4 of Cups or 2 of Cups? 2 of Cups is a concert flyer with a phone number written on it. 4 of Cups is a photograph of one of your parents building something. Let's do the concert photo. So this is, I think I just lost a card. Two of Cups. A concert flyer with a phone number written on it. What was the concert and whose phone number is this? I don't need to type that out. I think it's Mika's band's concert, which is why I chose this. Mika's band's concert. Phone number is not a phone number that you'd recognize. I think the number is I think this is kind of silly to write your phone number and then give it to them, but I think it was somebody someone at the show like wrote their phone number down on a flyer and handed it to Micah. And I think that was the first time it ever happened to Micah, that somebody tried to hit on her, so she kept it, but I think it made Jude like not the happiest, you know. All right. Oh, dang, we still don't have. We've got 2 of Pentacles, 8 of Cups, Knight of Pentacles. Let's do a person. Let's get a foil or accomplice in here. I don't know if we'll end up using them, but let's do it. Knight. I'm going the wrong direction. Knight of Pentacles. Knight of Pentacles. A hardworking, mature, older teen. Interesting. Who is this going to be? We'll see if it's a foil or an accomplice. A hardworking, mature, older teen. 5. So this is an accomplice. So this is like a proper teenager. So let's say like 16. This is Knight of Pentacles. Let's say this is... What name do we want for this person? Let's do... Reed. Reed. They're... Oops. I'm not able to type. Reed... A hardworking, mature, older teen. They are... Sarah's older sibling. 16. Give us rides sometimes. Let's actually make them 17. I think now... There are laws that if you're under 18, you can't drive kids around, but I don't know if in 2002 that was the case. So We'll do that. So they are an accomplice. Oh, Two of Cups needs to go there. And this might be the last straw. If there's a major arcana in here, this is the last straw. It's not. Oh, yes. Oh, why? Okay, we don't have to use this one. We just put it in our twist. But holy shit, I feel like I always get the tower at like the worst times. Okay. I think I could make this a trap. I think just for the sake of time, because it's 5 o'clock and I need to make dinner and I'm getting my COVID shot tonight, so I'm kind of on a time frame. We're gonna do this as we're gonna do our last twist. But let's see what the tower is. I don't think I want to pick it probably, but let's see. The tower. Lose your childhood home. Yes. Okay. I won't be picking that one. But I think these other ones are kind of, oh, you know what? Let's do the wheel. I was really excited about that one. So let's do that one. So the wheel, this is our final one. I think, let's say it's like about to be summer again. So it's been almost a year since the trip to DC. And since going to space camp for the first time. So the Wheel of Fortune is enter a competition that matters to you. Oh, I think I know what this is. So it's close to, it's like the beginning of summer. Jude is coming to terms with the divorce. Her parents have been living separately for a while. She's pretty upset because she's been trying to save money to go to space camp. She still has some money from her inheritance, but she hasn't quite made it. And there's a competition that is like, if you win, because they used to do this in like, you know, the 90s and the 2000s, maybe still, I don't know, that it's like, you can win a week at space camp. And so she's like, if I can do this, then I can win a week at space camp. I'm going to just roll the dice to see if she wins the competition or not, since this is our last card. And I'll just use the same, I'll act as if this is a twist even, or as this is a trap. So let's just roll, and that'll determine the successes. 6, 7, 8. It is a partial success. So I could. I'm not gonna do like the remove a heart, remove a hurt. This is just like, what is this? So something happens. Jude succeeds, but at a cost. So she enters this competition. I think it's an essay. And I think she uses her journal entries and all this different stuff to write an essay about why she wants to go to space camp, and talks about like the divorce and talks about all this different stuff. And I think the mixed success of it is, I think she doesn't win the competition. I think she gets runner-up. And with runner-up, it's like you get like a cash prize. So she doesn't have enough to go to space camp. But Sarah is like, you know, horse camp is less expensive, and we can go to horse camp together. And so Jude is making plans to go, and it's also cool. She gets like a certificate that she got runner-up, and they're like, try again next year, like all this different stuff. So I think she ends up making plans to go to horse camp with her best friend, which is nice because the whole school year they haven't been able to see each other that much. They're in different grades. So it's like, over the summer we're going to go to horse camp. And so we are at 1 heart and 2 hurts for Micah and Jamie, which I think is just, they they don't really, I mean, they're in each other's lives because of Jude, but they're doing their own things. Jamie's in school again. Micah's going on tour a lot. She's like trying to like actually travel. Nothing international, but is like traveling, you know, like we'll do like a week that's like across like the Midwest and like maybe like going to California for like and doing some shows there. Like stuff you do when your band is kind of small, like the tours you go on. And like crashing at people's houses, stuff she couldn't do, and have like for her at least have like a marriage. Um, and I think that's like Jude's new life. They work out like more of a steady, like when Jude is at Micah's, when Jude is at Jamie's. I think she's mostly at Jamie's because Micah travels so much. But I think they make plans for like Jude to go with Micah on a trip. And I think the hurt is just mostly Jamie and Micah not having time for each other and hurting each other that way. Um, Ending of the game. When your rebuild a life tarot spread is complete, it's time to wrap up this part of Jude's life story. In your final dire entries, you can resolve any ongoing story threads and figure out how Jude did with their goals. If Mike and Jamie have 5 hearts marked, they get back together. Otherwise, you must decide based on the amounts of hearts and hurts how their relationship stands at the end of the story. As a rule of thumb, if they have more hearts than hurts, their relationship is at least peaceful, though strictly platonic. I think maybe Micah's seeing someone. I think that's also like, you know, something of a hurt. And maybe it's like someone else in the band. Like, it's not that. I don't think Micah was cheating on Jamie, but I think it's like a thing where it's like, that kind of sucks. Someone you've been close to, and then we break up, and then you're dating them, you know? Reflect on Jude's level of teen. How have they grown and matured since the story starts? What life lessons have they learned? Well, now she actually is a teen. Because it's been almost a year since since the divorce. So she is 13 now. Are they able to accept the outcome of their scheme, however it turned out? What hopes do they have for the future? Reflect on the twist you sacrificed to spring a trap on Jude's parents. Did they miss out on valuable experience by devoting so much time to their theme or scheme, or was it worth it for things they learned along the way? I think it was worth it. I mostly sacrificed the crush. I think Jude's really not able to focus up. It's pretty much the crush and falling in with the wrong crowd. She only tried. Is that right? She only tried 2? Oh, no. And one of these was also a twist that succeeded. I don't remember which card it was, though. I think it was mostly worth it. I think she ended up mostly getting distracted by her own life. I think she mostly focused on her own life and tried to do some things to get her parents back together, but it was kind of out of her scope to be able to do. So that's it. That's Jude's World. If you thought this game sounded cool, you can back it on Kickstarter. The link is still in the chat right now. There's only a couple days left, and it hasn't reached its goal yet. So if you want this to exist in the world, you should back it on Kickstarter. I think it's like a couple of $100s away from the goal the last time I checked. So a very good thing to support. But I am going to head off. My next stream is going to be on Friday. I am going to do, I'm going to do a face cam stream. Normally on weekdays, I don't. I play video games and I use my PNG tuber. But I hit one of my fundraising goals for Big Bad Con. So I am going to do a sour drink challenge on stream. So I want to have my camera on for that. So I'll be playing The Witcher and drinking sour drinks. But thanks everybody for hanging out and watching, and I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up. So I'll see you all later. Bye.